Welcome back to the long form Yells at Books. It's just Jamie and I today. We really want to talk about The Long Walk by Stephen King. What's his pen name? How do you say that?
Richard Bachman.
Richard Bach. Yes. For those of you that don't know, that's Stephen King's alter ego, a pseudonym, whatever you want to call it.
I still love that he came up with Richard Bachman just to spite the people that wouldn't let him release more books.
Yeah,
Only allowed one a year. He's like, well.
I'm pretty sure that's why pseudonyms came about, right? Because of people like Stephen King, and also to protect your identity, right? Right. So we're talking about The Long Walk, not politics. Actually, there might be a little bit of political in this. Anyway, since you brought it to my attention, Jamie, why don't you start us off with some? How the hell do we usually start these? I forgot how to make videos.
Yeah, 2 weeks off and it's all gone kaput. So basically, I'll give you a summary of the book, and then Fynn will yell at me some. So I read it first. Surprising. Okay, so this book follows the main character. I've forgotten his name now. It's an alternate US where they have this thing called the Long Walk, where 100 boys from all over America can put their name in to be in this competition. And basically, they have to walk non-stop until there's only one person left. But it very quickly isn't ideal because people that fall behind, they don't.
So the Long Walk is basically it's actually similar to the Hunger Games, where it's a product of war. Because I believe that the US becomes a police state, or not a police state, a martial law, I believe is the term. Is that correct?
I'm not too sure if it went too far into the why.
Yeah, it didn't.
No, it was just like a competition
Yeah. Anyway.
type thing.
So I actually watched the movie. Me and Jamie were supposed to watch that together, but it just slipped my mind, and I just decided to watch it with malice aforethought too. I actually put effort into pre-planning watching it and everything. It was just to spite him, but no, but I've actually only heard negative things about the movie. So that's why it took me so long to watch the movie, because it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, unique premise in a horror movie. It'll be, let's watch that. But then you hear all these bad things about it. And you know what? After reading the book and then watching the movie, I thought the movie was actually really good and quite true to the book in a lot of ways. Actually, like in the sense of like when you're reading the book and you're getting to know these characters, and it's like the sinister nature of the book comes from these normal conversations with teenage boys that you and I have both had at one point. We've been walking with a friend and just having this conversation, and that's what the whole book is just boys walking and having a conversation, except the sinister part is that they're acting all normal when literally all but one of them is going to die, and the movie really captures that. I think the movie might be a little bit ham-fisted with how it keeps reminding you that that they're all going to die, because the book doesn't really remind you. Even when you see somebody die, they go straight back to how casual it is. The movie does that a little, but I think maybe in the visual format is just anyway, the book's always going to be better than the movie. It's very rare when the movie's better than the book. So what did you think about the overarching sort of the whole thing? Okay, I don't have to ask you questions.
No, I really like the horror aspect, and especially what you said. It is very much these 14 to 18-year-old kids don't really know what they've signed. They know what they've signed themselves up for. They know what the Long Walk is. They know only one person gets out, but the actual reality of it hasn't hit. So I think that the horror aspect, and even when, like you said, when people start dying, they kind of just turn away, keep walking. That's the scary part. The scariest part of that book for me, though, is them basically sleepwalking. That was how it was written. Was really good. Really good.
Like somnambulous.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
I think that would be hard to capture in the movie because it's all enough dialogue.
I thought it was captured quite well in the movie.
Cool.
Yeah. But only for the main character. We don't. The movie focuses on the main character, I think, more than the book does almost. Because in the book you get a lot more of the other characters, but in the movie the main character is the main character, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think you're really going to enjoy the movie. I liked
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I think the part that made me the most uncomfortable, and I've said this to you before, and it always comes up whenever I talk about Stephen King horror books, is the sexuality that he puts into his works. Now, the movie doesn't have that. It has, mentions of sexual stuff, but the way that Stephen King makes you so uncomfortable with his use of sex in his books is absolutely insane. And every time, every book, he's written like so many books. I've read so many of them. And every time sex comes up, it's uncomfortable for a completely new reason. And for those people that always say how he sexualizes young girls a lot, you need to read The Long Walk, because he does the same fucking thing to these boys. I'm not sticking up for him. It's fucked, and it works for the horror, but get rid of your gender discrimination and read The Long Walk, because man, it was very uncomfortable for more than half of it as well. Like it's not just he doesn't just mention these things. It's part of it. It's part of the horror. And yeah, and also it comes from a really real place of being a teenage boy and thinking those thoughts, like in your final moments, and that's what you're thinking of 100%. Are so accurate.
Yeah, he definitely captured how it felt to be a 16-year-old boy, for sure, which is it's a bit horrifying in itself, really.
Yeah, well, that's why I always say that Call Me By Your Name is a horror. Because it's the book that does that the best. Oh man.
Yeah, very accurately does. So I haven't actually read as much Stephen King as you, obviously, but I was just amazed at how gripped I was with this book, because it is just a simple concept. It's just 100 boys walking endlessly for, what was it in the end? 4 days?
5 days, I think.
Imagine walking for 5 days.
I know. The thing is, it's like, what's even more horrifying about this is I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think I could walk that long. Because it's just walking, right? Like you can. I mean, I haven't walked that long. Like I've done like a whole day hike for. It was hell, but it was only hell because I was bored. Because I get really bored when I'm not doing something. But when I think about that,
would be so annoying through the long walk.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh hell yeah! Like that's the part that's most dreadful to me, is how bored I'd be. And also that poor kid that dies shitting. That will probably be me.
Yeah. Oh, another thing we hadn't point out as well is if they have to keep at a certain pace, they have to keep at, I can't remember the pace, but they have to keep at a pace. If they drop before, if they go down below that pace, then they get a warning, second warning, and a third warning. I think it's a minute between warnings.
Yeah, 3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Because
I was a bit confused towards the start, and I was like, I thought it was if you drop past a point, past the last person, but then it made sense later on that it's if you drop past a certain pace. Doesn't matter where you are in the group.
When you watch the movie, also, the movie tries to make the Colonel, the guy that's like yelling the orders, rather than just be a faceless soldier, they try and make him into the villain for the protagonist, which I really didn't like that.
Yeah.
The thing about The Long Walk is the horror is subtle and doesn't need a face. So I think that's why a lot of people didn't like that movie, and that would be one of the main reasons. And I can totally see that.
That's completely fair, because really the true antagonist is the boys.
Yeah.
They put themselves in this position.
Exactly. And being forced, they're essentially forced into this decision before they should be making decisions. It's another fucking horror aspect. Like,
because they just see an easy way to get an easy life. Like the reward is anything you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
The life of luxury, really. So if you're going to give 14 to 18-year-old boys that option, I probably would have done it.
Yeah, I definitely would have. I was a fucking poor kid, bro. It is such a basic book. Actually, this is a really good point. You said before how engrossing the story is, and it's such a simple concept or whatever. And what I meant to say when you said that is almost all of Stephen King's books are like this. Gerald's Game is a woman strapped to a bed. The fucking audiobook is like 24 hours, man. And I was gripped the whole time. Cujo, trapped in a car by a dog. Needful Things, fucking, I think that one was like either 30 or 60 hours. It was a big fucking book. And fuck me, the horror in that is so subtle, and fuck all happens for most of that book. It's a real character study, so sort of like the Stand as well. Like that's a lot of character work in that, and I didn't like The Stand. That's probably my least favorite, but I will admit that it is quite engrossing in even the most boring places, and I think that's why something like 11/22/63 is such a fucking masterpiece, because everything matters. So like usually we're engrossed by things that don't matter in Stephen King books, but in 11/22/63 every single thing that Jake Epping does is important, and so no matter how deep we look into everything that he's doing, it's going to be engrossing, and it still feels important. So yeah, this has turned into just we like Stephen King books now. And this is
I do want to
why
read some more. I'll read Gerald's Game next, maybe.
yeah, I recommend it. Yeah, and this is why The Long Walk was so fantastic, because it's just Stephen King at his best, writing the most boring shit and making me love it.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was just sitting there reading it, and suddenly I was like, I'm halfway. And then the next day I pick it up again. I'm like, I'm almost finished.
Yeah,
Not much happened, but damn.
yeah, I love it. It was
And
brilliant.
it's a different gruesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's something
Yeah.
that the movie got wrong as well. You're right. It is a different gruesome. So the movie has a it's not too gruesome, you know, you see someone get shot in the head, which is pretty gruesome. But in the book, you don't see that, right? What you see is a boy shitting his pants and then hearing a gunshot. Like that's gruesome for a whole nother reason. Man, so
And just also in
horrifying,
the
man.
book, like boys like becoming friends, telling each other stories, and then not even thinking, oh shit, like only one of us getting out of here. Like the penny would drop sometimes when the main character was having conversations, and I really enjoyed those moments because they're just having a good old time, having a chat, and then it kind of drops like, oh shit, like only one of us will get out. Like this guy's talking about his wife and the kid on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another aspect of the horror. And I think that Stephen King understands that when you're watching Ghostface chase the girl through the house, you're like, no, go that way, no, do this. You're screaming at the screen or the book, and he knows that. So this concept is that to a T. They're talking to each other, and it's like you're screaming, like, why are you fucking doing this? You're making it so much worse for yourself. Just ignore them and
Literally.
walk. Oh man,
Yeah.
brilliant.
I've already forgotten what the kid was called, but the guy that was at the back, he was probably my favorite character.
I
Forgotten his name.
can't remember his name. The one that was at the back that was
With the air
yeah, that's
Jenkins or something like that. But yeah, I liked him. He just kept to himself and he knew what was going on. And he
yeah.
kind of did have a character arc. And not a lot of them had much of a character arc, which is so, like, I'm a character driven guy, but I can't say that any of the characters really changed or, like, grew.
In the movie, it felt like every character got a little arc. Except for like, you know, there was a few that would just like die, you know. Of course there's gonna be some of those, but it didn't feel like anybody was missed, if you know what I mean. Like there was still a kid that just dies, or like a kid, you know, and you don't know who they are, but the movie gave enough time to each of the more important characters that it felt like I knew all of the boys.
Yeah, it definitely, like, it did definitely go into backstories with a lot of them. It's good, but kind of heart-wrenching because, like, you kind of get to know these boys and then gone. Or when they die before they die, that was heartbreaking when they're literally like dead man walking.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know when the last conversation with that character is going to be. Suddenly they're just walking
Yeah, so
and they're not
living
there.
regret. Oh, hell yeah. I definitely I enjoyed both the movie and the book. And you know what? Some small things the movie actually does improve on, in my opinion, but it does commit, usual movie sins, like the thing about the Colonel being an actual antagonist. Really fucking annoyed me, to be honest. Like that's such a fucking
Yeah,
Hollywood thing to do.
he's not even in the movie. He's not in the book.
Yeah,
He's in there at
yeah,
the start and you never see him again.
yeah, exactly.
But they talk about him.
Got anything more to add?
No, you know us, we could probably just keep talking and it will divulge into nonsense with other books in mind.
Exactly. Was there anybody else out there that read or watched The Long Walk, and what did you think about it? Do you disagree that the movie was good, despite the glaring flaws? And what did you think about the book? This is actually supposed to be more about the book, but comparing the two just feels so natural because I really enjoyed the movie more than I probably should have. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and just let us know what you think.